Enjoy!
Hi guys, welcome to Hobby Hot Tips. I'm miniGIRL, and today I want to show you how I make a marsh. And for those of you who are wondering what the difference between a marsh and a swamp is, I don't know. I looked it up, and evidently a swamp has more trees around it than a marsh. So anyway, let's begin with the marsh tutorial, because the marsh that I'm going to show you doesn't have any trees on it. Let's begin. Now, as many of you know, you can go to your craft store and buy a bag of swamp. It comes in all different colors, but I wanted to show you an untraditional way to keep your eye open when you're at the store for different textures. I'm going to actually use this as my moss. I saw it and I thought, ooh, I can do some fun stuff with it. It was really cheap. It was only I think a couple bucks. So here I am shaping it out, and I'm going to have a little bit of it sticking out on the side of the base. I'm shaping it how I want it, and I'm going to kind of clip the edges so it has a more organic feel and look to it. Next, I'm going to make my mud recipe. For those of you that haven't seen, check it out on my YouTube channel. I have a recipe for making wonderful mud, and I just put the first layer onto the base, and now I'm going to place that quote-unquote moss onto the base, and then I'm going to put a layer of kind of like a khaki medium brown. It doesn't matter. It's just going to go onto the edges, and then I'm going to stack that with more mud to kind of start to shape my moss. I'm adding just a couple little rocks. I'm not even going to put glue on the rocks, but I am going to put glue onto the mud after it dries for a little bit. I let it dry for a good 15 minutes before I added the white glue, and I'm going to put some fine turf onto that. I decided I wanted to make some cattails for my base, so I got some Harvest Gold field grass that I ordered online. As an alternative, you can use actually angel hair pasta, or here's another hot tip: if you have a close friend that you know very well, you can ask them if you can take a lock of their blonde hair. Then again, that might be kind of creepy. I don't know. Maybe it'd be better to get it from a dog? Yeah, sure. Why not? Do whatever you want. I don't want to know either way. Okay, moving on. So, whatever hair or grass you get, just make sure you super glue it all together. And you're going to put it on the end. And then I get these beads here in the jewelry section of your craft store. And that's going to be the actual little piece that goes onto the cattail at the top. And it just slides right on there. It's actually called a punch bead, or crimp bead. And now I'm gluing the rest of the cattail all together so it's one piece. Now, to give the wet marshland portion a realistic look, I'm going to use a light khaki just on the front for the highlight. Then I'm going to use a darker brown umber just on the edge of where the moss is, and I'm going to leave the middle section that medium brown. I want to add some foliage to the marsh area, so I'm going to use one of Citadel's little tufts, and I'm going to put it directly onto the base now. Right in that little area. Looks good. Now for my water, I'm using Mod Podge Puzzle Saver. It seems to work much better than just regular white glue. I don't know why. There's something different about the formula, but it's much thicker so I can actually give it texture, and much glossier too, which is what I want because I want the base to look very, very wet. Now, if you want to add a little more detail, you can make that algae or moss, whatever that stuff is that floats at the top of a marsh. I'm going to mix my puzzle saver with some light green food dye. And you don't need much of it, just a little bit of food coloring. It almost kind of looks like a yellow color when you are mixing it. But once you put it onto your base and mix it in just a little bit with the glue, kind of like a little stream of it, once it dries, you'll see what it looks like in a second. Remember those beads that we put on the cattails? Well, I want to paint them, so I'm going to use Bloodstone by P3, or just any ruddy color would be good because they looked shiny and it just didn't look real, so I want to make sure these have some realism to them, and the paint adhered beautifully. I then took a wash and dirtied up the cattails and all around the cattails, so it gave it a nice real effect. If there's any mess on the edge of your base, just be sure to clean it up and thin down some black paint with either water or thinner and paint over your edges. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and you know what? You didn't have to use any beauty products, not even nail polish. Aren't you proud of me? What is with my hair today? The Marsh that I'm going to show you is oh God. See you guys soon. Bye.